Okay, today we'll be teaching you how to change your maintenance on the Splitless. So what we're gonna do is take out your wrench, which is have a half inch actually, and you're gonna do. It might be a little bit little tight, so gently try to grab it and just try to righty tighty, lefty loosey. But on this one, if it feels different, try to put a little force in it, and then you might feel to break it in. And inside this device, we have two things that's holding it. You can see in here that there's a gold seal and a washer that holds into the Splitless. So in your kit, by now you have been changed. We have been sent to you. What you're gonna do is change those two things out when you're doing this maintenance. So we're gonna go get our new one. So one of the main things you're gonna do is make sure these are two replaced. You're gonna insert back your washer, insert it onto your reducing nut, and then you're gonna insert your gold seal. That's how it should look like. The next thing is you're gonna insert back your column nut, hand tight. So what I'm doing right now, I'm rotating it because it's lefty loosey, righty tight. You're gonna do the same process, hand tight slowly, and then you're gonna get your half wrench, and you're gonna tighten back into the right position. Okay. Now that we finished this part, this is the inside of the column oven. Now we're gonna go on top. In here, it's recommended to change this part, which is the copper line. It's recommended to be changed. Your T20. So you have a few holes in here that has a screw in it. You'll remove those. Once you remove them, you just slide it out, put it on here in a safe place. And you see that you have your Splitless here. And what you're gonna do here, is remove the Splitless line, remove it. And this is the crucial part. Be careful, don't get damaged. You see like there's a O-ring here, this little part right here. What you're gonna do, you always want to replace that, because over time it gets wearing out. So, and then there's a piece of glass which is called the split liner glass that will always replace. Depending on your type of Splitless, if you have inert, of course you're gonna change it to inert one. If you have a regular one, which is on the Agilent one, you put that one. On this one we have inert, but today we're just gonna replace what we have. So you wanna do is remove the O-ring first. See the O-ring right there? Remove that, always put a new one, always recommend it. The next part is you're gonna remove this little piece right here. The glass will be careful, don't let it crack on you. Like I said, be careful. Remove it, discard it. You have one of your new ones, so this is the Inert, so we're gonna go ahead and replace it with the same thing. The part number, of course, if you need any questions, you can always check it out. Attach the new one inside, insert here, lightly, and then you're gonna grab your new O-ring, and you're gonna place it back in there. So just make sure everything's sealed good. You wanna make sure it's in there. So this is the other parts we do. So as soon as we change this, the other thing we're gonna do is, on top, you see the little green nut here? You're gonna do is twist it off. We'll always try to when this is part of the process of changing your maintenance on it, what you're gonna see, this is called a Septa. And then we always replace it. This is part of the injector maintenance that we do on here. So we're gonna replace that. Gently just take it off. You see it's been injected in there. We're gonna put our new one. The one has been provided. Insert it. You might feel a little differently, but then go ahead. You're gonna return what you just took off, and you're gonna rotate it again back in there. Just be careful there. When you're doing this, be careful. Don't try to break your Inert liner. If you do, you'll have to replace it, and then you don't want to cause that. Then you're gonna rotate this again, and then you're gonna turn it. Don't do it too harsh, just turn it around, and then from there, we're done with that part. Now, this is optional, right here, this copper. We usually take it off, recommend to change it in case it's been damaged or not. you always want to do, if you do decide to change it, you're going to use a 7/16 wrench to remove the brass copper nut, and just slightly just try to turn it. Look at that, and then hand tighten to slide it out. Just like that we do. Once you replace this, it's optional. If you replace it, you also want to replace this part here. As soon as we enter to this copper part, you see this part here? Here is where your filter is, where that's the other part that we use to maintenance this device. What we're gonna do is, you're gonna have 2 wrenches for this one. In 7090, you need 2 wrenches to remove this. On the 8090, you don't. On this one, you need to make sure you hold it firmly, and then you grab the other side of the nut and remove it. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. And then from there, it might little cost you a little bit to tuck it out. Once you're out, it will slide out just like that. Just make sure it's not source waste or anything. If you do, I recommend it to be replaced. So this one looks like it's good right now. For now, we're gonna put it back on. When you're gonna tighten your brass, you want to make sure you don't over tighten it. You don't want to mess up the bearings on it. So do a 30-degree angle. You should be good. On this part here, now that we're at the filter part, now we're gonna replace. You're gonna provide it with one of these filter kits, the split vent trap. So this is 1 cartridge. If you have 2, of course you're gonna change both. But in this services, we're pretending we have 1. So here, you'll slide over your hands right here. You see this little neural knob right here? What you're gonna do is you're gonna turn it. You don't have to force it, and you're gonna have a filter inside there. What was changed is this part of the Splitless injector maintenance to do. You're gonna take this off. You see it, the way it has it. So there's only one way that you have it. You have the bigger side with a O-ring on the side, and then in the front it has one too. Make sure it has both. If you don't, you might have a possible leak. Get your new one. See the difference. Insert it, and you're gonna go put back your neural knob nut, and then you see the grooves all the way up till it gets to the respond, correct the pace, and then you turn, slide it back in, and you see now that you have changed both things. Make sure your line right here, there's nothing damaged there. Just make sure everything's correct. Then you'll position it to the correct spot. On 8090s, you won't have no problem with that, but on this one, a little tricky. So we're gonna go ahead and install our nut back to the Splitless here. Okay, as soon as you finish installing this, if you need to change this one, go ahead, go do it. Recommend it, and then after that, we'll go ahead and put our Splitless tray back on top. Make sure everything's gone. Insert it back. Get your T20, recommended, and then bolt and screw every single screw you have in there. Other than that, I think we're done with this. If you understood this part, you have any questions, let us know. This is CSG, and this is your service tech. Nice to meet you. Thank you. Okay, we're gonna go over the tools that we just used to process the injector maintenance. So one of the things you're gonna use when you started at the beginning in the video, you saw that I was changing this part, which is the gold seal, and it has a washer. So in the kit that we sent, it comes a gold seal here and a washer, correct? And then the tool you're gonna use is gonna be a half-inch wrench. So once you do that, this is what helps you actually do part of the job on this one. Now we're gonna go, what we do after we're going inside. So this part right here is the gold seal that comes with 2, in case you have 2 of them. So you change both, recommended. Okay, let's go to the next part. Okay, now that you notice that on the top, when in the video, I was showing that we're removing the top of it. On top of the splitless, you saw that I was removing this part, the green nut. What you're gonna do on top of that, you'll remove this, which is called the red septum. That's one of the things you'll take off. Remember, you'll have to put a new one. You put that one on. This one you can actually hand tighten. It's not required. You don't want to do too much force because you can cause a leak there. The next part we were doing after that is changing where it had a O-ring. On this little kit, it shows you the whole new O-ring, what you see here. There's depending on what GC are you using, and what splitless you're doing, there's various types. Just know, get to the one that you need, the corresponding one. You have one that's inert, and then you have the one that's the Agilent one, which has a glass wall on top. So the direction on this one is very important. You see the open here on this part of this glass. You want to make sure this is the position you're putting in. You're gonna insert from top to bottom, making sure the glass was on top, and you don't want to put it on the other way, or else there will be no flow. So this is one of the ones you use. This is the one that's a regular one. It's splitless. On this other one, which is the inert, it's different. It's only doesn't have any glass wool. And on this one, the same way. How way you see it, position, open part here, you'll slide it down. Make sure when you do that, it's going this way, the way you see it, the position. You can see the glass wool from here. So the glass wool is always going to be on top, and the open side is going to be at the bottom. For that part, make sure when you're doing that, you're changing also the O-ring. This is one of the things that we use. Always make sure you replace that because you were trying to create a gray seal. Okay, as soon as you did that. Now the other part that we're doing is when you were changing the filter, which is the copper line all the way at the bottom, the filter, you notice that I used 2 wrenches for the application. You want to do both, like I said, hold one and then use the other one, which is we're using the 7/16 wrenches on both sides. On the 80 and 90, you only have to use one. On this application, which is the 70 and 90 that we use both. And you counterclockwise. And then when you remove that, you'll see this part, which is the filter, the split van filter they were using. We'll always replace that. It's always recommended to change it. Okay. Once you get to that part, by this time you already removed. Another tool that we're using also mainly was to remove the assembly, which is the plastic cover, is this T20 torque screw. So we're going to use that to remove all the wherever it's placed on the Agilent's corrective place. We're going to use this tool, and we're going to use the property, which is righty tighty, lefty loosey. So you don't want to over tighten or you don't want to break anything. But other than that, the next thing we're going to do is making sure everything's correct. If you have any questions, feel free to ask us also. We'll be happy to help y'all out. But these are the main things that we use to do an injector maintenance. Hopefully everything's good. Thank you. Reducing that.